Hello, one and all, and welcome to the next exciting installment of What Were We Talking About Again? The only podcast on the internet that is both kid delicious and mom nutritious. I'm your host, Jake, and with me here today is a new friend of mine, Suraj.
Hello, I'm Suraj Sanyal, semi-professional Golgappa eater and one-time offender, but we don't talk about that.
That was the best intro I've ever gotten, anyone's ever given on the show, I gotta say. So, we are live from Piscataway for the first time ever, minus the live part. I'm still working on that. Yeah, I'm in college now, and with college comes a lot of changes. So I figured I'm gonna make one major change to this podcast that might sort of improve it a little bit. So, do you have anything to say before we start?
You were on the subject of college, and the first week of college was absolutely crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting to talk about that.
Okay, good. So if you're unfamiliar with how the rule works, this is sort of going to be like the start of season 2, I guess. I'm trying to really improve upon this all the time, as usual. However, this is like a huge leap. So I'm going to try to, college is all about experiencing as much as possible, getting a bunch of interesting stuff happening every day. So I'm going to try to have at least one story to tell every week of the podcast, and then that will be our starting topic. Normally, I just asked for viewers to comment, and nobody really gave great suggestions, to
Fair
be
enough.
honest.
No, when I make YouTube videos, it's like I get like 3 comments, and they're all from friends. Either that or like, "Hi, this nice. Check out YouTube channel, please." And it's like
Yeah.
that sort of like link that you're not really sure if it's a YouTube channel or,
Or
like
a
someone.
virus,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh man.
So, I just said, like, if you're unfamiliar with the rules, here is how it works, and then somehow I didn't explain the rules. So basically, we start with a topic, we discuss it for 15 minutes, we don't have to hang on it, we can just go wherever the conversation takes us. However, at the end of the 15-minute interval, we have to switch to the last word or phrase we said, as the alarm went off.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
Especially
it's-
if, what do you do if like you get stuck on like
A weird word,
yeah,
like the word.
yeah.
Oh, that's happened before, so you just kind of gotta make something up that involves it somehow.
Oh, that's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah. It's a little tough at first, but eventually the conversation just starts flowing again. Especially since we're such lively people, we'll be able to work it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I wanted to discuss this week is the very first day I got here, I got invited from a fraternity person to one of their parties, and I wanted to share my experience.
Should I start that up?
So, yep, the
Alright.
first topic is going to be parties.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so I went to this party. It was at like 10 o'clock on a Thursday night, but luckily there were no classes yet, so that wasn't a worry. And it was me, my roommate, and a couple of my friends. I knew one friend from high school, and then I talked to her, and she apparently already knew a bunch of people here, so we had this sort of group of like 7 people. 2 guys and 5 girls. That matters for the ratio purposes,
Oh,
which I'll get to
absolutely.
in a second. So we walk around for like legitimately an hour just walking to the address of the party, and it wasn't because it was far away. We just wanted to kill some time and arrive fashionably late.
Oh, absolutely.
So my feet were already killing me by the time I got there. And then, so we're walking up and we're like across the street from where the party is, and these 3 guys like walk up to us and they're like, "Yo, we need some girls for a ratio." The concept of a ratio was new to me at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. You were
And
wondering if they asked
I was
about
like
math.
told about it on the way, and I wasn't like in the invitation. He never said any ratio, so I was just assuming you could just go in, but apparently not. If you are unfamiliar with that, a ratio is basically like the guys to girls, and some parties have like 5-to-1 ratios where every guy needs to bring in 5 girls, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion.
That's what happens when like frats host it because they
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, they just need people to get in there. Also, while we're talking about people roping you into things without you knowing what they do, involvement fair was wild.
Oh yeah, no, that was so crazy, so crowded. But I haven't even gotten to the interesting part of the story yet. So, the three guys approach us, and like we kind of had to like ditch them for the purpose. It was like 3-1.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They were like changing the ratio throughout the night.
Yeah, you got to preserve that ratio.
I guess it became a bit of a sausage fest, so they changed it to like 3-1 or something like that. Anyway, I got in finally, and it was just like a party, you know, in the backyard. It smelled like pure marijuana, and people were drinking. So I decided, you know what? I didn't decide this, actually. The people I was with decided. We're gonna go in the basement and see what's down there. Boy, was this a mistake.
Yeah, this sounds like the common white person in a horror movie trope. Like,
no.
What were you thinking?
No. The basement was where all the music was coming from, and there were lights flashing, and there was the whole neon graffiti on the wall. So
that's
pretty typical EDM style party experience.
Yeah.
However, this basement, like, I'm guessing the max occupancy normally is like 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
A very small basement. There were at least like 250 people down there.
Was there even floor?
I'm only
floor, or was it
I
just
did
people?
not see floor. It was just people, and I'm only exaggerating a little, but like I thought I was gonna suffocate going down there. I tried to break my way through the crowd to follow my friends because they wanted to go to the alcohol table, and I could not find a way out for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was sweating to death because when people are in close proximity to one another, it heats up. And it's not even like there was any room to dance. I don't drink or smoke, so I didn't even know why I was there. I was just overall having a miserable time.
Yeah, also on that like subject of you not drinking or smoking, you refer to substances in very formal terms.
Like, how do you mean? Like marijuana
you said
instead of pot, instead of hash?
Like, I've never had somebody be like, wow, it smells like marijuana, or I went to the alcohol table. That's a new one. The alcohol
table?
Yeah,
really?
no,
People
that's like...
What do they call it? The alk stand?
They're like booze.
The bar?
Yeah, like drinks or booze or whatever.
I don't know.
I come from like the school I come from, you have to like learn the lingo. Like there's probably a whole like dictionary just for Central Jersey about you know, just what to say. But I've been confronted because while I'm talking, I'll say things like finna instead of gonna, or like God. You know, like just stuff like that. So no, I don't speak proper English, but I feel like that sort of gives it its own authenticity. When
I know
slang.
Yep. Yeah. So the story's pretty much over from there. I went to a different party on the second day, and it was a lot more enjoyable because there was space, but like still, it's kind of like when frat boys make parties, they want to make it like there's a club in the basement, and I don't like clubs because it's real crowded. You can't even hear yourself talking, and
Fair enough,
it's overall obnoxious. Also, we encountered this guy who like completely lied through his teeth the whole conversation.
Like, was he like one of those one-up type of people? Like, what?
I don't even know what he was trying to accomplish. But basically, he approached me. He's like, yo, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Egg Harbor Township. And he's like, oh, yo, I think I went there like my for like 2 years of high school. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And then somehow my friend Michael Auble, who has co-hosted the podcast before, he was brought up. And he's like, oh yeah, shit, I knew him. He was my best friend. Obviously not a very truthful person.
Yeah.
When I asked for his name, he told me Steve Smith, and then his friend came up. He's like, yo, did that guy recognize Lewis? So I don't even know what his name is.
No, people do anything to get, like, social interaction or a friend. Have you heard about the arm wrestling kid?
Yeah, he just walked up to random people and arm wrestles
them. It's so horrible, and it's like, it's a template. Like, he has the flowchart diagram for if you say yes or no. Like, it's like he walks up and he's like, hey, do you want to arm wrestle? And you go like, no, thank you. And he's like, what about your 2 arms versus my 1 arm? And, you know, you can accept, or you can be like, no, still no, thank you. And then I'll be like, what about your 2 arms versus my 2 fingers. And like at that point he's like glaring you in the eyes, and like you can feel the intensity of this man who's been training for arm wrestling like Olympics, and you have to say no at that point because that's one of those places where
like,
saying yes
you're gonna get embarrassed.
yeah,
if
exactly.
You say yes.
No, you can't say yes to a 2-finger 2-arm wrestling competition. That's not okay. This is the same one who, at my orientation, was talking about how the Muslims, they believe very violent things.
Oh
and
my
I just had
gosh.
to sit there like, what the hell is going on?
So he's gonna arm wrestle them all.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he'll bring peace to the world, or he just watched too much like arm wrestling and Rambo combined.
Yeah, that's a really like specific interest to have too.
Yeah, exactly. Like what like organizations are there? I mean, I'm sure there's like
the professional arm wrestlers
I'm sure there's
of
that,
America.
but like there's nothing on like a school level, or like I don't even think there's one at Rutgers for it. It's oh god.
Yeah, that's the one thing at Rutgers there's not a club for. There's a seeing eye dog club.
Oh yeah, I
There's
keep
like
getting emails from
like
them.
a bachata club.
Bachata. Is that a dance?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. It was either a dance or a martial art. They had a few.
It's like a
martial arts
genre
ones.
of music, but with an associated dance style.
Gotcha.
From Latin America.
So kind of like salsa. Like there's salsa.
Yeah,
dancing and
sort of
salsa
like
dancing.
that.
My sister actually went and did the salsa club her freshman year.
Oh, that's
and,
good.
all of her friends flaked on her, and she did it anyways. So she's a champ for that. Shout out to my sister.
There's a K-pop club where people
go
like,
crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
They act like they're legitimate K-pop stars.
Hell, they might as well be for all that I know about K-pop. Do you know anything about it? Because I think I've listened to like BTS, and that's it.
I used to know like 3 K-pop bands, and
Yeah.
I forget all their names.
They're all giant too.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of amazing when you see like the 52 girl K-pop band. And you're like, how the like? There's no way to tell a difference between. Okay, that's kind of racist.
That's racist.
Yeah, fair enough. No,
their fans can definitely tell
Yeah.
the difference.
There's 52 of them. That's a whole recitation class into a band.
I can't even tell the Love Live girls apart. You know what those are?
No.
It's like this anime girl group that's like a J-pop band, but not really because they're anime
so they're like
girls.
virtual, like Hatsune
Yeah.
Miku or whatever.
Yeah, sort of like that, except it's a
Gotcha.
whole band of them, and they all look the same to me, even though they all have different colored hair.
Different colored hair. Different colored hair is like how you distinguish people. That's why I went.
You went pink? Yeah, no, I noticed you in a crowd now.
Yeah, exactly. It makes things so much easier. So freshman tip: dye your hair pink or green or like whatever crazy color you want.
Yeah.
Don't do brown. Too many people do brown. That's too safe of an option.
That's
It's
a
not-
normal hair color.
Yeah, there's no originality to it. Also, sometimes when people dye their hair black, you ever feel like it's almost unnaturally black, like there's too much?
Oh yeah, it's like too dark.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
they want
weird.
to.
Like it just like they dip their hair in oil or something. Like it's crazy, and I don't really know how. Like, I guess it's only when like their like skin color and eyebrows are like way lighter than the black of their
Yeah,
hair.
you're right.
Oh man, that's. Yeah, but
goth kids though.
Did you
like-
have goth kids at your high school?
Not really that I know of. No.
No, I didn't either. I had some. There were some underclassmen who did like strange things though. In my senior year, I went like to the bus lot, and I'm just getting on my bus, and then I see one of them in like, those, like furries. Like they have like
Yeah.
those. They had a fursuit on.
What?
And like this is at my high
At
school.
school?
Yeah, absolutely. And they were just parading around with their like blue fox head and their like, tail, and like they got the Chuck E. Cheese looking paws and everything. It's
Oh no.
terrifying. I didn't like. I can totally
Yeah.
understand it on like a virtual level because then it's like okay, it's whatever, it's
Yeah.
art on a screen or whatever. But when you're like dressing. When you're
No,
physically
if you're at a
dressing up-
public high school, like how does that not violate the dress code somehow?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like at my high school, most of the administrators were too scared to like lock down on dress codes.
We weren't even allowed to wear like hats and hoods in the school. So how could that person get away with wearing a fursuit helmet?
There was oh god, there were a lot of girls that walked around with like cat ear headbands.
That's so
Yeah.
odd.
It is odd, and they were all like the really cringy like Tumblr obsessed, like
Yeah.
XD RAR type of people.
RAR
yeah,
XD.
no, absolutely. It was so bad. But yeah, Actually, one time for dress code, my homeroom teacher, who was an absolute like butt of a dude, like he was just like so cynical about everything, but he walks up to this girl, and he's like, that's not the ringer. He's like, he's like, yo, take your hat off. And she's like, what? And then he like looks again at her. She didn't have a hat on. This was just an African American girl with
Oh
very
my
big
God,
hair.
no.
And he just goes like, never mind.
You had some interesting things happening at your high school.
My school is amazing. Shout out North Brunswick Township High School.
All we had were at my high school was like the occasional kid who wore like those shirts that are like homework causes global warming.
Oh,
and,
what?
And
Like,
they would wear those like weird straps like Sora from Kingdom Hearts on their pants.
oh no. That's that's amazing. Actually.
Yeah.
I haven't worn one of those like homework like see no homework, do no homework shirts since like I was like 8.
Yeah.
Back in 8th grade, or not 8th grade, back in what, 8th is like 3rd grade-ish.
You guys know exactly
Yeah.
the kind of shirts
Yeah,
we're
like,
talking about.
those, yeah, you can throw a picture up if you really want, but
I guess maybe I will. Maybe I'll
can
do
just
some
Google
video
search,
editing
like-
this time.
yeah, no, if you like were looking for production quality, there's so many easier like ways to just add a little bit of
Yeah.
just flair to a video.
You know, I've had one static picture for like the whole episode in the past. Maybe I'll do like one picture representative of like this 5 minutes of conversation.
Got you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that would be pretty good. Or if you really wanted, you could do like timestamps. I know that's pretty big on like, at least on the podcast that I would watch on YouTube. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I don't really care about this part. Oh, they're talking about like, I don't know, like a rapper or something. You know? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Especially with the like topic focused nature. Speaking of topics,
Yeah.
did you go to any parties? That's where we
Me,
started
I'm
with.
not a big like partier, but
Neither am I.
I do hang out with like my core group of friends. So over the summer was like when I actually went and like tried new things, but I really don't like, you know, like partying or
I'm glad we're in agreement here because I don't think it's a good experience, honestly.
yeah, no. I
Like-
mean, if I wanted the music, I would go to a concert, and
Mhm.
if I wanted the social interaction, I would be at like something a lot more low key.
Yeah. I feel like I disappointed a lot of people from the group me because I guess I give off the impression of a party animal. I don't know.
Really?
One person said that.
You did not give me that impression when you like realized. Like I was like, oh, this kid watches Germa and he's gonna be a computer engineer. That was like my first impression of
I
you.
mean, I figured most people would think that, but I don't. It's impossible to tell how you're gonna come off to
Fair
people.
enough. And how people like talk in a group chat doesn't necessarily...
Doesn't reflect on them at all.
Also, how people look in their profile picture has nothing to
yeah.
do with how their voice sounds. That's what I realized. Because
Yeah, nobody ever looks like how their voice sounds.
horrible. Like, there's like giant buff dudes that like in his voice is like, hey man, how you doing? And like, what is, like, did puberty just hit the body? Oh man.
Puberty hitting the body. That's an interesting
Oh, are you
subject.
kidding me? I would love to talk about that in a forum. Actually, no, puberty hitting the body. Did you have to go through like the usual like 8th grade help sort of thing?
Oh yeah, no, it was 5th grade we had like the talk.
Oh, family
Yeah.
living? Yeah.
No, not family living.
Not family living?
No, it was just like in gym class one day they separated the boys and girls and they're like, this is what a penis is.
Yeah, no, that was 5th grade for me. But except we called it family living. What was
Oh,
family
really?
living? for
It
you
wasn't
guys?
like a separate class for us. It was just like one period of gym.
Oh yeah, no,
where
that's
we
what I
met.
mean. It was
Oh,
just
they
like,
called it.
yeah,
like-
it was the family living unit of gym class. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, our school nurse just came in and she's like, okay guys, we're all gonna say it on 3, 1, 2, 3, Pumas. So then you know you get a lot less awkward
I
as
think-
time goes on.
That's the first and last time I've ever felt like that uncomfortable.
Oh,
when
really?
Yeah, I don't know why I felt so uncomfortable with it. Now I can talk about sex all day, and it doesn't really bother me, but for some reason, like me as in fifth grade, it just wasn't right.
Yeah,
It didn't
fair
seem
enough.
right to bring up. But I guess they have to teach you about it eventually.
Yeah, I'm actually thankful for like the sex ed that I did get in like
Yeah.
regular schooling because other states, not even like other countries,
Oh
but
no,
other
you're
states are
right.
like horrible. with
they
their
they
sex
teach
ed.
like if you have sex, your palms will grow
Yeah,
hairy
yeah,
or
like
stuff
that
like
kind of
that.
stuff. Oh my god.
Oh my
I would hate
gosh.
to believe stuff like that. Also, I would be terrified. I was terrified of almost everything that my body went through. Like everything. I thought like I was like, "Oh my god, like I'm breaking fundamentally at the core. Like none of this is
The
normal."
laws of physics
Yeah,
no
yeah. I
longer
was just
apply
like,
to
I'm
me.
pretty sure I'm an X-Men. I'm pretty sure that's what like many superhero stories are actually like metaphors for, but X-Men especially because like
That's
their
an
powers
That's
their
a
powers come
very
out during
interesting.
puberty.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way, but you might be onto something
No,
there.
there was like a very confirmed thing that it was a metaphor for like gay rights because there was have you watched like the full X-Men series?
No, I
But
haven't.
there's actually like a lot in the third movie where it like the US is like no mutants allowed and like
Oh.
people are going to like conversion to not become mutants and there's like a specific line in this is like the most hilarious line ever. They go like all of the X-Men go to this one mutant's house.
Yeah.
And his parents don't really like the fact that he's a mutant and his mom just goes like, "Have you tried not being a mutant?"
That's good.
I think it's X-Men 3. It's either 3 or 2. That's a good trilogy. You should really watch it
Yeah,
sometime.
I feel like every time one comes out, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go watch this. Like, it's hype. It's X-Men. I like the
Mhm.
X-Men. I like Wolverine. I like Storm. Is she in the movies?
Yeah, in the trilogy. Yes.
Yeah. I mostly know them from Marvel vs. Capcom, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But they're not in it anymore. Did you know that?
They're not in
The new Marvel
Capcom.
vs. Capcom Infinite, they took X-Men and Fantastic Four out of the series because Disney, like, they're at a war with Fox, and Fox owns the movie rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men, I
Oh.
think. Something like that. So there are no X-Men in the new Marvel vs. Capcom
Damn.
game. So no Wolverine.
Yeah,
Which
I mean,
means
like, I don't really give a shit about the Fantastic Four. They're kind of lame.
yeah, they are lame. Yeah, the Thing is just the Hulk.
He's like a Rocky the Hulk. He's so ass. Like, I don't understand who sat down and was like, he's gonna be big. Like, what's his
And
superpower?
strong.
Yeah, like his superpower is like being made of rocks, like being very ugly and very strong, which is already the Hulk. So they
Yeah,
they
what the
ripped it.
heck?
There's a superhero called Spawn that I need to like look into because apparently he was like amazing and everyone loved him and he has like a cult following, but I have no idea like who this guy is or what it is.
Spawn. It sounds
Yeah.
familiar, but
It was by Image Comics, who I don't want to get this wrong, but I think they might have made Watchmen. I'm not sure. Have you heard of the Watchmen?
yes, I have heard
Yeah,
of
that's
Watchmen.
oh, I love that like series. I haven't finished the comics, but I did watch the movie and that was really nice.
I've actually never like read a comic book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Not even like online?
Oh, and you know what? One time I did read my cousin's copy of Left Behind. That like
I've not heard of Left Behind. What's
it's
that
like
about?
this comic about the people who believed in God like went to heaven and everyone else was just left on Earth and what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even think it was actually religious in nature though. Like, I
That's
don't
just,
think
like,
it had
the
a religious
premise?
message. I
Yeah.
think it was just a premise.
No, I think a lot of anime does that. I don't know if you've watched like those like trying to be deep animes or whatever,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they just kind of put God in it as like a
Yes,
thing.
there has to be some symbolism.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
just toss God in there real
It's like,
quick.
whatever, and then I'm surprised like parents like I've never seen any sort of like massive backlash of like we don't want our kids watching anime or like whatever.
Well, I mean, nobody wants their kids watching anime.
Oh
to
fuck
be
no!
fair.
I put that in my grad speech though. I was like, let your kids watch anime.
Oh yeah, your grad speech was a rap, right? Like part of
yeah,
it.
it was part rap because everyone kept like being like, "Oh, you should rap in your grad speech." And originally, I was like, I was like throwing around all of these ideas. I was like, maybe the whole thing should be a rap. Never mind, just I won't rap. I don't want to. And then I was like, what if I just put all the shout outs in a rap? Because that's like the most boring part of every grad speech ever. I hate listening to someone talk about other people for
like how much their mom helped them.
Yeah.
She gave birth to me and also she gave me food at one point or another.
Oh god, shout out to my mom.
Yeah, I love my mom, but
yeah, my mom actually, she needed me to write a poem about her wedding, and I still haven't done that. I should really get on that.
What do you mean, for what?
'Cause you know, like when I was little, in like, I think 3rd or 1st grade, I would write poems, and it just kind of became like that thing that, like, you know, every parent's like, oh, my kid does blank, my kid does blank, so I was like, my kid does poetry.
Wow.
And I stopped writing poems around middle school, but it just kind of carried over.
Regular Walt Whitman over here.
Yeah. And so, you know, like, poems turned into raps. I'm sure, like, other people have done this before, but poems turned into raps, and I didn't really write poems anymore. And I always told myself, like, I'm not going to be one of those people that writes poems that don't rhyme.
Yeah.
In order to sound deep and, like,
yeah, no, I hate that, too.
Yeah.
Like, that... Have you ever, like, browsed Twitter and like, followed a basic white
like,
girl?
Yeah,
you know exactly the kind of poems I'm talking about, then.
The one where, like, they'll throw, like, random imagery from, like, nature or whatever in there.
Yeah, and then it'll be like, us apart
yeah,
in a devastating world.
It's like indented all weird.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate those.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, I was always, like, telling myself, like, I'm not going to write poems that don't rhyme because that's really lame, and I wouldn't want to, you know, read a poem that doesn't rhyme. So for the most part, I've stuck to that, except for when I'm just, like, really shitty, and then I just, like, vent into, like, the notes on my phone or whatever. Do you do that? You ever, like, open up the notes on your phone and just, like, write out a ton of stuff?
You know, I can't say I've done it at one point only. Yeah. It was, like, during sophomore year, and I was getting fed up with life.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sophomore year was a weird year for me.
Sophomore year?
Yeah.
Sophomore year was the year when, like, for me... For some reason, my whole grade started, like, not caring about anything, and they would just do crazy shit, like, all the time. I don't, like, like, if 2 kids got in an argument, it would escalate insanely fast just because it was sophomore year.
That's
like,
very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Sophomore year was insane. Junior year was when I was, like, feeling horrible about life, so that's when, like, that hit me. Oh, man.
One remarkable aspect of my sophomore year is that I tried to, like, pick up girls, like, all the time.
Really?
And I would, like, message them on Twitter. It never worked a single time.
My in-person game is horrible, but my virtual game is insane. Like,
no, I'm kind of the same
I'm a Snapchat connoisseur. Like, I can message for days. My typing speed is ridiculous. Like, everything's good. I got the GIFs. I got the I got the emoji game on lock. Everything in person could not do that at all.
Yeah, I don't use emojis.
You don't use emojis?
I mean, I use them occasionally, ironically. like in those student athlete memes. You know,
I love those. No days off. 100 emoji, flame emoji.
Rise and grind.
yeah. I had to work for this view. Oh, man. But yeah.
Rest in peace, Polly.
I found like I found like only a select few emojis that I actually enjoy using. Otherwise, it's just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, mine are the okay hand, the smirk, and the eggplant.
I like the okay hand. I barely use the eggplant, mainly just...
Oh, yeah, and the 100, forgot about
that.
Oh,
100 was like, if you could sum me up in sophomore year, it was the 100 emoji. It was so, like, overused. I started with the cry laughing emoji. I think that's the one most people do.
Yeah, the tears of joy emoji is its official name.
Sometimes I would look them up, but only if I was trying to use them for, like, video editing purposes.
Yeah.
So many thumbnails have emojis in them.
No, yeah, you're right. Especially on Facebook, where the bar of quality is a little... and originality is a little lower.
So low. Oh, God.
It'll be, like, literally someone else's video... And then at the top, it'll be like a white bar with like, yo, who did this?
Yeah, like some shit like, oh. Oh, the freebooting is like horrible and like
Yeah.
terribly rampant. I get like weird fake nostalgia about the days of like early YouTube.
Even though you were probably like too young to
yeah,
really
no, I was like
experience
8.
it.
Like I was 8 when I made a YouTube account, and that was in like 2000 like 7 or
Oh,
whatever.
I think I was around the same age when I made my account, and I made these really embarrassing vlog style videos. It wasn't really vlogs. It was like me sitting in front of the computer monitor with a webcam, and I would just say random crap that came to mind.
Gotcha. I didn't understand how videos worked. I was like I tried to upload without having like a file or anything, and then I'd write in the description what I wanted the video to be, and I thought it would just like magically happen.
That's
I don't know.
funny.
I was pretty dumb when I was like that little. Oh man. But yeah, making YouTube videos is a labor of love because God knows like there's a very small percentage of people that can make a living off of it.
Oh yeah, and an even smaller percentage who don't get like blocked from ads being on their videos with this adpocalypse thing going on.
I really, really hope that we see like a new platform rise up or whatever.
Yo, shout out to Dailymotion, shout out to Vimeo. Yo,
there's some sus stuff on those sites because they're not regulated.
Yeah,
so
I know.
like it's very scary. Like you can...
I remember Smash 4 before it came out. There was this leaked character roster that turned out to be true, and nobody believed it. But then someone posted a video of gameplay of it, and like one of the characters wasn't revealed previously that was in the leaked roster, so that confirmed it to be true. And it got taken off of YouTube, so I had to go to Dailymotion to see it.
Yeah. There's I don't know if you've ever heard of Critical on YouTube.
Oh yeah. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? He's Critical.
I watch him all the time.
But he, like, when his videos get banned, he just uploads them to Pornhub.
Dude, Pornhub is, like, honestly, you can post whatever you want there. It doesn't have to be porn.
Oh, yeah, no, this just started happening. When I get bored, I go on Pornhub and I browse the Safe for Work section. Because they have they have a tag called Safe for Work.
That's good.
And you can just go through it and see, like, people, like, bootleg movies.
I know, there was this one, it was, like, on Pornhub, and it was, like... You know how remember the B movie edits that were really popular? It was like
the B movie,
the B movie, but yeah,
it's the whole
B movie, and this is just piracy. So
Pornhub's wild.
Pornhub's wild. Remember when they changed to Cornhub for April Fool's Day?
Oh wow! I completely forgot about that, and it was like this completely safe for work thing about liking corn or whatever. Oh my god! Oh my god!
And they have videos like. Hot ear of corn gets buttered up.
It's literally corn. Oh my god, that's amazing. Have you ever seen Pink Guy Rap's Pornhub titles?
No.
Oh, it's so funny. People just screenshot like the worst Pornhub titles they could find, and then they just send it to him, and he just has to say them all in a row over a beat.
That's good.
They get like progressively like more horrible. So it's like grandma's like fur burger. It's like I don't even know what that means. I don't want to know what that means.
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. But that's Filthy Frank for you.
Yeah, Filthy Frank. I wish he made more like crazy videos, but now he just mostly does music stuff from what I've seen. It's because of the adpocalypse, I'd imagine, at least partially.
He chose like the perfect time to exit because he exited right before the adpocalypse, and then like George Miller, the actual person.
Are we discussing George Miller?
I really hope so. Can we?
Yeah. Okay.
I get really into content creators that I like, and George Miller is like one of those people. He started up in the Newgrounds era where like, you know, you can just find whatever you want, and people made like crazy stuff, because in those like first days, Newgrounds being like the first big hub for content on the web, as soon as they realized you could make anything, they would just make the most obscene, crazy shit they could make, which is why you found stuff like Murder Simulator or whatever on Newgrounds, and it would just be like horribly gory or like just terribly like MS Paint boobies or like whatever.
I remember a billion video game animations on Newgrounds that were like obviously copyright infringement. But yeah, so it wasn't regulated, so you could just do that.
Yeah, so he grew up in that era, and then he transitioned to YouTube, where he made like disaster music. Or
Disaster
whatever,
music,
his
yeah.
original channel, and you could tell like he did not care about like
Yeah.
anything. And eventually he just built this weird following of people that were like insane and probably 12 years old. But that's what he did. But the whole reason he made disaster music is because he wanted to do music in the first place.
Yeah, I heard that. And apparently he only made the TV Filthy Frank channel because disaster music was getting like copyright strikes or something.
Yeah.
And he didn't want all the videos to get taken down.
There are a lot of people that are really successful on YouTube that just had their original channel shut down. Like even Markiplier got his first channel like destroyed from copyright infringement.
And Little Karibo too, you know who he is?
No, who's
he
that?
made Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
funny.
Abridged series. I used to watch the Avatar Abridged series, and also of course Team 4 Stars,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. That was like original. I'd call that Newgrounds humor.
Yeah, you're right. I think it did start in that era too.
And I'm guessing you know Egoraptor because
Of
you were
course,
talking about
yeah.
video game animations. He started on Napster.
He started on Napster? I thought he was started on Newgrounds like everyone else.
Before he made actual animation on Newgrounds, he would go on Napster and he would download like comedy routines or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then he uploaded his own like little super fast summation of like I think Dragon Ball Z, or maybe it wasn't, but he's like Dragon Ball Z in 30 seconds or whatever, and it would just be him making a bunch of like oh Goku like that kind of stuff. And he said that like a month later he looked and he found Invader Zim does Dragon Ball Z, and it was just a rip of what he made.
Oh no.
And that got like way more famous than the original thing he made.
Jesus.
So since that was so famous, somebody made an animation and put it on Newgrounds, I think, of like that audio clip. And he was like, "Hey, I did this. Can you like credit me?" And then he got into Newgrounds. I might have butchered that
that's a
story in a few details.
Sick
but-
story.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, Egoraptor's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Game Grumps. I was a big fan in like ninth grade. Now I don't watch them. Like ever.
This summer I got into like this weird binge watching where I just went into the compilations.
Yeah,
and
the compilations are good.
Because like my thought process was like, oh, I don't have time to watch these like 14-minute episodes of a thing. Let me just watch one whole hour of like
The
Aaron
funniest
saying
moment.
weird stuff. And that 1 hour turned into 2, turned into 3, and before you knew it, my whole evening was just like a Game Grumps compilation. It was really fun though, and I love Aaron, Danny, and like all of them.
And JonTron, rest in peace.
R.I.P. JonTron. I used to really like his content. Now
Yeah, it's kind
just
of fallen off for me too.
Yeah.
I Peanut Butter Gamer, same deal for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to really like his stuff, and then it was just like whatever.
Dude, the first video I saw of his, I was laughing like so hard. My mom came up. She's like, "What's going on in here?"
Yeah, the first time you find a creator that really like clicks with you, like it's just amazing. It's just
Yeah.
the greatest feeling in the world. Oh yeah, but do you know Vernon Shaw?
Yeah,
of the Game Grumps?
I only know him from
HotPepper
Hot
Gaming.
Pepper Gaming,
Good, because I
yeah.
was gonna talk about that. That show is golden, and
Didn't it end?
Yeah, it did end, but it was the most amazing thing I've ever like. It pulled the inner masochist out of me, like because I don't know why, but for some reason I found it to be the most funny thing in the world, and
Yeah.
none of my friends understood. Like I'd be like, "Can you watch this person like die over hot peppers with me?" And be like, "It's kind of like I don't really like this." So like, well, how could you not like it? It's peppers. It's hilarious. Oh man. But yeah, Vernon Shaw. I follow Vernon and Jared Rosen of Hot Pepper Gaming on Twitter, and I like to like keep very close like looks at what they're doing, because I feel like if there's any content creators I really need to like learn from, it would be them. That started off of like a $50 idea, Hot Pepper Gaming, and they just grew it.
That's nuts.
I guess the real like thing I learned from them was that you need like the right team, because it's Vernon, who worked in like YouTube analytics and stuff, and he was
Yeah.
like really fed up of his job, and he's like, I know the formula for making a good YouTube channel. I just need to prove it. So he was telling all his coworkers, they're like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, no, I'm gonna do it. So he goes and he meets Jared Rosen, who's like the wild card. He's the one that finds like all the weird peppers. Like, you know that the one that like makes you like salivate a lot?
No.
No, there's like
Is it like a?
one of those peppers where it's not hot, but it makes your whole face numb.
That's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jared's like crazy. He writes like horror stories or whatever. And then I think Erin, and she does like all of the set work and the production stuff, and she's the one that made Hot Pepper Gaming not look like shit. So like together, like when these three people put their heads together, they went $50 in craft supplies and lit the thing up and got a Blue Yeti mic, and they just said, let's do this.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel like you can live the American dream.
That's-
Except not anymore on YouTube? Question mark.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's find out. Maybe this podcast will really take off, and I'll be raking in the AdSense.
That would be insane.
That'd be nuts, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just have a huge following.
I'm
I'm at least trying to get to the point where like people will recognize my voice on campus
Oh,
from
that
the
would
podcast.
be awesome. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
I don't know.
And you know, from what I saw, I was telling you about that kid who made the like Rutgers freshman rap before we
Yeah.
started this podcast. You know, like you can just sort of pander to RU and you'll get some attention out of that, I'm sure. My like personal long-term goal was I always thought I would find like my calling in like the internet in college and like escape this like you know academic life for
Yeah.
like some sort of creative life. My short-term personal goal was 100 subs on YouTube, and my long-term, like mid-term personal goal would be like 1,000.
Yeah.
Because apparently once you hit 1,000, YouTube takes you like a bit more seriously,
That
and
makes sense.
that's when they can actually put you in other people's like recommended feeds and stuff.
Is that true? You don't get in
Like,
your recommended videos?
It's very unlikely that
That's-
it would be.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense. Like, you don't want, like, bad videos to be recommended all the time like how
Yeah.
it used to be. Even though that's kind of what the weird part of YouTube
That's exactly
came
what the
from.
Have you gone through the important videos playlist?
I have gone through the important videos playlist.
When I finished that, I questioned my life decisions. I was like, what did I just do? Like, how did I waste all of this time?
Alright, if you haven't heard of this, go look up important videos. It's a playlist by El Joto, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And just watch, a couple.
Yeah, don't watch all of them. Don't make the same mistake we did.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to, in which case, like, I'm not your mom. You can go do whatever you want. But no, important videos, that I'd say is like an anomaly. I don't know how.
Yeah, and it's not even like he's a popular person. Like,
No,
how
it's
did this
just his
random
playlist.
playlist get so popular?
Yeah, there was a weird like spike of like meme compilations on YouTube in around that time period. So I'd say like spring 2017, where
Yeah.
you click on important videos and suddenly there's like my WebM collection. I found that like a lot. I don't even know what WebM is. I was
gonna ask
I
you.
tried to look up WebM and it was like it just looked like one of those HTML sites that was made in like 2002 and like never aged properly. So I don't know why they're called My WebM Collection, but it's basically like a meme compilation.
Okay,
Yeah, no, that's weird.
that's interesting. I think spring 2017 might be the wrong time frame because I remember I went through like a major meme phase in early January of 2017 with like We Are Number One
Oh,
and edits and that whole genre.
gotcha. Yeah,
What was that called? The Mine Song? That too.
what?
The Mine Song. It was like also from Lazy Town, but it was stingy, and he's like, "This mailbox is mine."
Oh, yeah. No, I know the song, but I didn't know that became a meme.
Yeah.
Lazy Town is like chock full of memes, honestly.
One day I just like realized like, why am I watching these? It's such
Yeah.
a waste of
No,
time. I
yeah,
know
when-
exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, when you hit like that point of like what am I doing? It's such a
Yeah.
weird and like profound like
Like, I could have been reading a book.
Yeah, I could have been like doing anything else at that point, but this is like, yeah, it's weird. What I did to waste a ton of time, although it's not technically wasting it, was I love video essays about video games. So people like,
I'm making one right now,
Really?
actually. Yeah, I have
Oh
the
my
script
God.
on my laptop opened up at the moment.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
will watch the hell out of that because like I watch like Game Maker's Toolkit with Mark Brown and like I used to watch actual like straight up GDC like game dev talks.
Conferences.
Yeah, it would be like a lecture. It's kind of weird when you realize what a lecture is and you're like, "Oh, this is a lecture and this is reading straight from the book and I could have done this at any point in high school."
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to watch a ton of video essays, and there was this one about Undertale, which was talking about like it addressed like the fandom and how like they a lot of people feel the need to just like obsess over this game and pour like every last like inch out of it that they can get in terms of like art and just playing the game over and over and over again, and the whole point of the game, which is crazy to me, is that you as a player shouldn't be trying to rip every last ounce out of a game. Because
is that true? Oh yeah, that's true. Because if you complete it both ways, then not all, your save file gets permanently damaged.
Exactly,
It's crazy.
yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, the game's like telling you, and like in a few instances in the game when you go really really far into it and like talk to certain characters over and over again, their like final line, because you can't have endless dialogue options.
Yeah.
Their final line will be like, "Don't you have anything better to do?" And
yeah,
that was like where it clicked for me, and I was just
that's
like,
nuts.
"Fuck, I do have something."
It was such a meta message.
Yeah,
like,
no, I found like a message of a meta commentary of Undertale. It was insane.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it was really profound when I hit that moment. Then I tried to make the 16 a week series on my YouTube page, which did not go past one episode.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, 16 a week? That's a lot.
16 a week.
16 like bars?
Yeah,
or...
16 bars.
Okay,
of
and then
graphing.
the second week,
Yeah,
I
the
was
second
like,
week is still
where's
not
the next
happened.
16?
Yeah, exactly. I feel very bad whenever I make promises I don't keep. I do it a lot.
Well, I mean, it's hard. You got to put time into it, and especially now that you're in college, you never know where the time will be to do those things. Ooh, is that the 15-minute
timer? No,
timer?
I think we still got
it.
Good, because this is like super important, because like for college my whole thing was like I need to find these pockets of free time and do the things I actually want to do in them.
Mm-hmm.
And super lucky for me, I was able to clear Friday of all of my classes. So
wait, you don't have a single class? Why are you here right now? Aren't you a commuter?
Because I'm doing the things that I want to do.
Oh, that's great. I'm
Fridays.
glad you actually want to go on this podcast.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Yeah, I always wanted to be on a podcast. I actually tried to start my own in high school, and it failed miserably. I was like, not, I looked at the Audacity project, and I was like,
I know the feeling. The first episode of this podcast, like, no offense to Carly, who co-hosted the first week, but I don't know what went wrong. Just something.
Yeah.
I do think it's getting better every week, though, except week 5. That was a weird week.
Now I'm gonna go and look up week 5 to make sure I don't repeat any of those mistakes if I'm back here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a few reservations going into this. I was really scared that like there would be awkward silences.
No, that's honestly, I chose you like first and foremost because you seem like the kind of person who wouldn't let there be a lot of dead air.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, a big issue with the first couple episodes. There would be points where both of the people talking would just be at a loss for what to say.
Yeah. Being at a loss for what to say.
Oh, wow. I have millions of stories for this one.
Oh, really?
Okay,
this will probably be our last one.
Because it's the 4th one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a little... I don't know if you knew this, but I'm not exactly the most social butterfly person out there. And oftentimes, it'll be tough to keep conversation for me when nobody shares. Like, if it's somebody who doesn't share a single interest with me, I'm just completely, like, what do I talk about? The weather?
Yeah, then shit's really bad.
No, it's hard, too, because I mean, I guess you're not supposed to try to converse with people you don't share any interests with anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I've told this story before. I'm just gonna like repeat the main details.
Uh-huh.
I invited some girls over for a birthday party, and only they ended up showing up because all my bros bailed on me.
Wow.
They're not my bros anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. Fuck them.
Yeah, and so I was just sitting there with like one other guy friend and three of the most popular girls in school in my house, and they were like talking amongst themselves about some drama going on. I obviously can't join that conversation because I don't know what's the deal with them.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to say to them? Yo, you want to talk about video games? They don't play video games.
Yeah. I mean, not to be like that asshole who's like, oh, you know what you could have done in your past?
No, I know. There are things I could have done.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, coming from the perspective of someone who, like, is very, easily able to talk to people, I'll just tell you my weakness first. I'm very bad with silences in that, like, I try to kill them with, like, words before it's
like
too late.
random words that you don't think of.
Yeah, no, like, I'll just, like, say some shit to, like, let things pass because I've had too many, like, days in, like, Skype calls where it's just, like, dead air.
Yeah.
And it always makes me get in my own head way, way too much. So, like, my main, like, gripe is that I'm always scared that I'm wasting my time with, like, everything I do if it's not like immediately engaging to me. And that's really bad. Like it's like it's the foundation for like most of my problems, especially if I'm like having a hard time studying or whatever, because I'll feel like
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was wondering like how could this be a big issue, but then I realized it's not just during a conversation. It's always. So that's a little rough. I'm really good at staying focused on things.
Gotcha.
Especially for someone in the modern era.
I find that a super, like, admirable trait, because, like, the kids who, like, yeah, I made a tower out of fucking...
Cards.
Cards and Arduino chips and made it, like, move arms with toothpicks or whatever. Like, the kids that make the weird shit.
Yeah.
And, like, you could tell it took way too many man-hours to do. Like, I feel like... One, those kids are, like, possess a quality that I do not have yet. And two, I feel like those sorts of, like, ideas, when worked upon super hard, can take you really, really far.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was saying with you, like, there's an idea called bad faith. Philosophically. But...
So, can you...
Yeah. So, bad faith is, like... when you believe that things have to be a certain way, and that can be bad faith with anything. Like, imagine someone wrote a novel when they were explaining bad faith, and it was like, imagine a waiter who's like always like way too serious and like, here's your drinks, here's your order, can I get anything else, like that. And then imagine the waiter who's like a little clumsy, but
that's
fine, and they're very conversational with the guests. They're not
they can adapt.
Yeah, they're not like a waiter, they're more just a person. So for that first waiter, they're in bad faith because they think they have to be this like super perfect,
like
employee.
Optimal, almost robotic.
Yeah, exactly. And that sort of bad faith that you have to be something is what limits like human beings in general, at least like in my opinion. Not to get so like, oh, this is why like whatever.
Pretty philosophical in nature.
But for your example with like being at the birthday party, if I hear like people talking about drama or whatever, most of the time I would be like, oh yeah, I'm not really interested. But if I was forced to make conversation, I think the group me is going crazy. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But if I was like, stuck in a room with them, then there's no rule saying that you're not allowed to get in a conversation.
You know what? I guess you're right, but how? Because like, what are you supposed to say? Oh, what's going on?
Oh yeah. See, that's another thing about having good faith is that like, you're allowed to just be like, hey, what the fuck's going on? Like, and that's like something.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like being a human being and like being allowed to do like whatever you want is an amazing freedom. What I do for like good things don't really inspire me because I'm like, oh god, they worked really hard and they focused really hard, as we were saying earlier, and I don't have that. But bad things, like horrible, like cringeworthy, like Minecraft parody looking, like those terrible things inspire me because I'm like,
I can do better.
Yeah, it's one, the I can do better, and two, I can do anything I want. Because, you know, they were able to do this horrible thing and they're fine.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, that's... And it brings us back to the whole college theme that I started this episode with.
In college, like, it's okay to say some dumb shit and, like, have people look at you funny.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, well, okay, another great thing about being here is that this place is giant and you can run away at any time.
Yeah, nobody's gonna recognize you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's so many things that you're able to work on in college. For me, I'm gonna try to like learn how to focus on things and maybe find a way to like actually make things out of all the floating ideas I have in my head.
Right.
And maybe you can work on not being afraid to just say some weird shit sometimes, because that's you know, like sometimes you end up just saying what everyone's thinking anyways.
You know, sometimes like I'm better than other times. Like the other night, I was in a room full of a bunch of new people, and I carried myself just fine. I said things at the right times, and nothing really super awkward happened. Got a couple jokes in, and they weren't like cringeworthily bad like all of my other jokes. Somehow.
It's okay. Another thing is like in college, you know how we were saying like bad things I can do better.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are way worse than you.
No, yeah, I definitely have to agree with that.
Like not just arm wrestling kid. There was a kid in my calc class who like went in these stupid in-depth reviews about calculators, and he made me want to gouge my eyes out. Like
what do you mean? Like to you?
Yes, to me, and like everyone around him. He had a captive audience of recitation.
The buttons are really squishy.
He would be like, yeah, the screen refresh rate is so slow, and he's like, he's here with this like machine that can do like anything, you know, like it can do every problem just fine. And he's like, look, I'm graphing sine and it's so slow, and what if I need to graph cosine too? That's why the Inspire is amazing. And I'm like sitting there like, can you shut the fuck up? I'm trying to graph something.
Oh man. Calculator obsessed. I mean, really, at least he has a passion, though. I gotta give him credit.
That's
for
like
that.
one of those things where like really focused on one thing, and I'm not like that.
Yeah. Yo, what if he has a YouTube channel where he just does calculator reviews?
I suggested that he do that actually. Yeah. And he
no.
brought up like calculator unboxing.
That's a niche that I think needs to be filled with more people.
Needs more people as an audience, because I don't think there's
no, you can create an audience out of something that they didn't know they were interested in. For example, have you ever heard of Pnemonic 2012?
No.
He makes really incredibly in-depth videos just about Super Mario 64, and like you hear that and you're like, well, it's just one game.
Wait,
how big of a deal could it be?
The like super speed run where you don't press.
Oh yeah,
or whatever,
the A-button challenge. That's him.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, but now he's created this audience full of people with an interest they never knew they had.
That's true. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying about like the people that focus on one thing and like really just make something out of it. I feel like they're made for the internet.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh god, I remember that stupid quadruple parallel universe video.
To the QPU alignment. No, it's not even just that. Like if you watch the other videos, that's just the most famous one, but they're also really interesting.
All the other ones too? Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Oh my god.
He hasn't uploaded in a while on the main channel, but he has a secondary channel. And he made like a 15-minute video about how Mario blinks.
Oh my god.
And it was incredibly engaging the whole way through.
Yeah, no, he's a great teacher, actually.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I like shit on him for the QPU thing, that's like a brilliant way to visualize what's going on. He made the graphs by himself. He animated it.
That's the first thing I thought. Like this kid could be a chemistry teacher,
Yeah,
but instead he's
like,
a Super Mario 64 teacher.
I think that is actually kind of amazing that he was able to explain those concepts. Because God knows I would have no idea what's going on. You like for anyone, go watch that like Super Mario 64.
Watch for
0.5.
rolling. It's called Watch for Rolling Rocks in 0.5 A presses.
That's the one.
And
yeah.
You'll know what a half A press is
Yeah,
by
you'll
the
be
end
amazed.
of the video.
There's one without the 22-minute explanation. Just watch the
TJ
fast
Henry
one.
Yoshi.
It's so crazy. Please watch that if
And-
there's anything. Yeah.
Furthermore, I think he's even created like people who are sort of doing the same things with other games. Like there's this guy Strider7X who makes similar videos but about Paper Mario glitches and speedruns.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that community is crazy. Except
they're
I was
nuts.
trying to look up the speedrunning community and I got a speedrun cringe compilation.
Oh no.
And wow, some of these people have no social skills and it's really sad. And, like,
Well, that's why they're speedrunners.
yeah.
I speedran Super Mario World for a psychology project.
Really?
Except I didn't do it very well.
Oh.
Demonstration.
Oh.
No, I had like a goal time. I think it was 11:30, and I passed that time at home. But I did a demonstration in class as well, and yeah.
It
So
didn't-
I kind of choked a little bit. I
Sure.
mentioned this in the last episode, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry for the repeat story. However, it had bearing on the current topic.
Yeah. Wait, so what did that have to do with psychology?
The project was like teach yourself how to learn something, and you would have to use like skills like mnemonic devices that improved your memory.
Gotcha.
I didn't really do that. I just speedran the game over and
I
over.
used to make up really weird mnemonic devices. Like I would make acronyms and then I would make them say some shit that makes no sense or is like kind of offensive, and I wouldn't like repeat it on this podcast.
There's a mnemonic in junior year for chemistry before the exam. The teacher never taught us really about the colors of certain elements because there's no way of telling if that'll even show up on the test or not. But like someone came up with the nickel is green, like Listerine. Makes no sense. Listerine can be a blue color as well, but I still remember it, don't I?
That's like sometimes that's why it like sticks in your brain because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I don't know. Okay, this is like the nichest of niche things, but if have you ever heard of the Aura brush?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
the
okay.
little
The
toothbrush
toothbrush
type thing
for your tongue, right? And the stupid guy in a lab coat is like in this advertisement, and he goes like, he's like, using a toothbrush, or no, he's like some people use mouthwash, but that's like cleaning your carpet with a hose, and I'm like, no. Mouthwash works perfectly fine.
Pretty good.
And then he's like, for toothbrushes, you know, there's a reason it's called a toothbrush, and I'm like, no. And, like,
no, that's called functional fixation. Actually, I learned that in psychology last year.
Shit.
They're too focused on like the intended purpose of a tool that they never think that it actually can be useful in other situations. So toothbrush you can use it to brush your tongue as well.
Yeah.
But no, you had to use the Aura brush because otherwise it's not good.
Mad at those commercials.
Oh man, there was one funny part though where he's like, to check if you have bad breath, you have to scrape the back of your throat with a spoon.
With a spoon, I did that.
No, then he's like, and if your breath smells bad, that's the only kind of spooning you're gonna get.
Oh. I'm so glad you remember the Aura brush commercial. There's no way I would be able to talk about this. Stupid Aura brush. I hate it. I wish I could forget it.
They made like an iPhone 7 parody.
Or no, never mind. Okay, I'm not gonna
No, they
talk
made an
about it.
iPhone 7 parody. It was, but like for the Aura brush.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even know. Like their marketing department was basically like, all right, let's just copy viral video ideas.
They probably just got
and make them
way too
Aura
much
brush
money.
themed.
Yeah. Oh man. Like the Chocolate Rain guy, he did a song for like Cherry Coke or something.
Oh yeah, Cherry Chocolate Rain.
Cherry Chocolate Rain. Yeah.
It was a terrible song, honestly.
Yeah, no, it was
like,
not good.
He's a great singer, but that was not a good song.
Yeah, no, it was just like, you know, like you listen to Chocolate Rain, you're like, this is fucking amazing, and then Cherry Chocolate like Rain, you're like, whatever.
His name's Tay Zonde. I'm gonna get him on the podcast one day. That's my goal.
Oh,
yeah, he has this incredibly deep voice.
Oh, just a silky smooth, buttery voice. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Man.
I would love to get like a voice actor onto a podcast. That would be great.
I'm gonna get a lot of very different guests.
That's
on this. Yeah. No, that's my plan anyway. I don't know if they'll actually want to do it. But
just sit them down
who
at
knows?
the table.
Maybe I'll have a professor on one day.
Yeah.
All right. that is the end of the fourth topic for today, which means unfortunately we are going to have to end the show here. Real quick, I forgot to do this like 4 episodes in a row. Do you remember the 4 topics
The 4 topics
from this
Okay.
episode?
We started with college and like parties and
Parties,
stuff.
yeah.
Then it went to the body.
Oh yeah, puberty.
Then it was George Miller.
Uh-huh.
And then finally it was.
I don't remember either.
Oh, come on, damn it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh
But
man.
there you go.
Yep. That's just the way conversation takes you. You never know how you started talking about things.
Fair enough.
Anyway, any closing remarks, anything you'd like to wrap up, anything where you think you should clarify what you meant when you said something? You don't
do
have
drugs.
to. Don't do drugs. That's a good closing remark,
Yeah.
honestly. Don't. Even if it's for a college party. I
No.
guess maybe 1 blunt's okay. But after that, no more, alright? You don't want to be that kid who comes to the dorm at 4 a.m. slamming against the walls because he can't even walk straight and he thinks his pillow is a gumdrop. So definitely just be careful, be safe.
Alright, yeah, no, we can do that. Alright, well, it was wonderful being on this podcast.
Thank you. I agree. You pretty much carried the episode. Like you talked for at least 75% of it, which I'm glad because when I only talk for 25%, that 25% ends up being better than if I spread myself thin over like 90% of it.
Gotcha.
Like in episode 6, we don't talk about episode 6.
Okay.
Sorry for if you're a past co-host, I'm super sorry for insulting the work we did. Honestly, it's not that bad. I'm just trying to get better. Anyway, this has been What Were We Talking About Again? I've got that video essay I mentioned on the horizon. Might also make a mixtape afterwards, we'll see.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. And anything you'd like to plug?
Yes, my YouTube channel is Solar, that's SOULAR, and my SoundCloud is Solar Charge, soundcloud.com/Solar Charge.
Yeah, you're that rap you did for not the 16 a week. I mean, that one was good, but the other
little
one.
Scuba entry
Yeah.
is real good. Yeah, go look at that, please. Look at the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen, just
just look. Just use your eyes, not your ears. Okay, so I feel like I've said this 3 times, but we're gonna wrap things up for real this time. We'll see you guys in the next episode. At least I will. Maybe I'll have you on again sometime. I don't know. Peace out.